Good morning. Welcome to Unraveled Game Thoughts. I am here in my RV just outside of BGG Con. Technically, just outside the hotel, really, because BGG Con hasn't started. It's Tuesday evening. I am just trying to let the night air cool things down so I can get some sleep tonight and get up bright and early tomorrow and get after some of the games. I apologize for the weird lighting in here. I know it makes my face look dark. I could. Maybe that's better. Is that better? I don't know. Not a videographer. I don't have one. I just kind of make do. So you get to see my bald head, but yeah, I am raring to go to play some games tomorrow, and I have my list of games that I'd like to play at BGG Con. So I thought it would be fun to do a video tonight and do a little bit of what do you call this? Is it like vlogging? Sort of like a video journal. Um, I figured it'd be fun to do this. I can share my list, and then as I have time and capacity, I'll do other videos and kind of check in and see how many of these games do I actually get played. Uh, I of course have a long list that is probably, it's kind of like your eyes are bigger than your stomach sort of thing. But I wrote down the times and the like how many players and the length, because there are people that I know coming and I'd love to play with quite a few of them. I think my brother is coming on Friday, so I'll play a couple games with him. And yeah, I just want to try some of these out. So yeah, without further ado, these aren't. So the way I ordered these was really by time length, because I thought, well, if I play the ones that take the least amount of time first, then I'll get through much more of the list pretty fast. It will, of course, mean that later on I feel like I'm not getting many games played, but yeah, it is what it is. So before I'll kind of do the runner-up, and the reason there's a runner-up on here is because I don't really actually think it will be here at BGG Con, but if it's here, I want to get it played, and that is Pampero. I didn't write the time of that down. I think it's about 120 minutes. So, but it is very high on my list. Like I would very much try to play that if it is here and available in the hotness. I would be shocked if it wasn't in the hotness room if it is here. But I don't think it'll be here. I don't think there's enough. There's a copy that they would have been able to obtain. But we'll see. All right. So number one, with a 1 to 4 player count and 20-minute game length, according to BGG, which is where all of my the length, the timing of these games came from, and we know that it's all very arbitrary. You never know; depends on your play group, all that stuff. So, bearing all those factors in mind, Turing Machine. I would like to try this game. It's kind of reminds me. It doesn't remind me of Azul in that, like, I think it plays like Azul. It's just like an abstract game that's just fun to get out every once in a while, and I'm going to be in the mood at some point to play it. So I'd very much like to try Turing Machine and see how it plays. I kind of think this would be a fun one to get for my wife and see if she would like to introduce it in her classroom. But she teaches fourth grade, so I'm not. I have to kind of get a feel like, do I think this would be appropriate for fourth graders? Would they actually be able to do this? It seems like a really good game for teaching logic, but we'll see. Dice Miner is not a really new game. It's been around for, I guess, a couple of years. I've only seen videos of it recently, so maybe it did come out this year or late last year. 1 to 4 players, 20 to 30 minutes. I would like to try Dice Miner. It looks like a lot of fun. It seems like a good light game that I might want to add to my collection. It strikes me as the kind of game I think my son would like to play. And I have a hard time finding games that he likes to play. He likes more active kind of games. He does like Clank, but that is sort of, even that's like a little too much downtime for him. He prefers much more interactive social games, maybe even party games, herd mentality, what's his favorite, love letter, things like that. So we'll see. He did like Regicide. I recently taught him that and he loved it, so that's a win. We'll take it. Number 3 is Village Rails. 2 to 4 players, 45 minutes. Just kind of strikes me as possibly interesting. I don't know if this game will be high on my list for years to come. I just kind of look like I kind of like to try it. Comes in, looks like a smaller box, so let's see. Top 10, 4 to 9 players, 30 minutes. Just looks like a fun game. This is one of those games I could see in my family's collection because it just seems like the type of game, it's easy to get to the table with family and it looks fun. There are just certain party games, code names. What's another really good one I like? That's a family fun game. Wits and Wagers. Those are both really enjoyable games to get to the table, especially when you have gamers and non-gamers. Everybody can kind of get involved. So I don't have Ready Set Bet on my list, but I have Ready Set Bet. Just got to play it recently, and I think I bought that game specifically because I think this is going to be a fantastic game for Thanksgiving, Christmas. I think the family would love it. We're going to try it out. I had my wife and my daughter and my son try it, and they liked it. Taryn and Elijah, so. But my wife liked it, and she thought it would be fun. So looking forward to that. Number 5, Cryptid. 3 to 5 players, 30 to 50 minutes. Just looks interesting. I enjoyed Tobago, and not enough to keep it, but it is enjoyable, and I think Cryptid kind of has that feel, but maybe in a little bit more streamlined sense. So I'd like to try it out and see. Number 6, Renature. 2 to 4 players, 45, 60 minutes. Renature is a game that's been on my radar for a while. I like the idea of sort of a nature-themed game with dominoes. Watching the gameplay, I'm kind of like, I don't know for sure if this is a game I want in my collection. Figure BGG Con's a good place to try it out, see what I think, and we'll go from there. 5 Tribes, number 7, 2 to 4, 40 to 80 minutes. This is another game that I just want to try out. Looks like a lot of fun. Seems like it has mechanics that I will enjoy, but again, I just have to try it and get it to the table. Not quite ready to pull the plug on buying the game, but want to get a feel for it. Honey Buzz, 2 to 4 players, 30 to 90 minutes. Kind of falls in the same ballpark as Renature and 5 Tribes. It's a game that looks pretty, seems like it could be fun, but I gotta really get an idea of, like, is this gameplay the type that I really want to have in my collection? Is it going to be beneficial? Number 9, Seize the Bean. 2 to 4 players, 30 to 90 minutes. I checked the library. It looks like they're going to have it here. I would love to try this game. It is very high on my wish list. It could be a game that I play once and I'm like, well, it's not as good as I thought. Or it could be a game that I play and I'm just like, this is fantastic. I love this game. So I kind of want to see where this one lands. Part of me thinks it's going to be awesome. Part of me is afraid it's going to be more in the Taverns of Tiefenthal range where it's fun. I like it, but not enough that I really want to have it. But I want to see. I like the coffee theme, and the gameplay that I've watched looks interesting, so I want to get a feel for it. Foundations of Rome, 2 to 4 players, 60 to 90. This is my number 10. Part of me does not want to get out that giant box and play with all those giant pieces, but I've heard good things from anybody who's played it. It sounds fun. This is definitely not a game that I think I'd be adding to my collection because it's just too big of a box and not enough meat to the game for me. but it looks fun. I want to try it. I want to at least play it once and see what I think, um, and then we'll go from there. Number 11, Tribes of the Wind. 2 to 5 players, 40 to 90 minutes. It looks interesting. I like the idea of the cards with the backs, and you use resources your opponents have, and kind of use. And I shouldn't say use resources your opponents have, because it's not. It's more like comparing resources. I think, from what I can tell, it just looks interesting. I don't think this is a game that I'm gonna want to add to my collection, but I do want to try it. And I'm games surprise me on both ends. You know, sometimes I'll play a game that looked to me like it's going to be awesome, and I play it and I'm like, it's a little flatter than I thought it was. And then other times I'll, kind of naysay a game for a while, and then I'll play it and I'll just like, this is fantastic, and I love it way more than I thought I would. So, some of my favorite games have fallen into that latter range. Gloomhaven being one of them. I watched Gloomhaven videos for a while, trying to decide what I would like better. Would I like Sword and Sorcery? Would I like Gloomhaven? Or what was it, Descent? And after playing all three, I actually have owned all three. Gloomhaven was the one I hung on to, and that was the one I liked the least watching videos. But once I actually played it physically, it just had a different feel than what I perceived in the videos. So interesting how that works out sometimes. Number 12, I believe, is let me double check my counting here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep, it is 12. Lacrimosa, 1 to 4 players, 90 minutes. Lacrimosa looks fun. The more I look at it, the more I see it, the more I think this is not going to be a game that I necessarily want, but it does look interesting, and I want to play it at least once to get a feel for it. But I think it will be fun. So this might be one that I'll be happy to let another friend own and get it to the table once in a while. Not sure it's one that I want to be playing constantly or on a regular basis. So we'll see. Number 13, Messina 1347. This was on my list last year. I really wanted to play it. 1 to 4 players, 45 to 120 minutes. I really like the Euro look of this game. I really like the theme of this game. It might not be for everybody, but this is one of those games. I wonder if this will feel like Heaven and Ale is a game that I played, and years later, I feel like it's just an underrated game. It's great. It syncs with me. Doesn't sync with everybody, but I really like it. And Messina 1347 just seems like the kind of game that I might like. It might just sort of like the Euro mechanics that I enjoy. This might fit. So we'll see. Let's see, 14, Sabika, 1 to 4 players, 60 to 120 minutes. I watched a couple playthroughs of this. I'm not sure. It's on my list. Part of me wants to play it. Part of me is like, I don't know. It looks pretty, but I'm afraid it's going to be not as good as it looks. So I want to try it. I like what they've done with the rondels there. It looks interesting, but I don't know at the end of the day it will feel as pretty as it looks. So that but I'd like to try it. Number 16 is Cooper Island, 1 to 4 players, 60 to 120 minutes. Cooper Island's kind of been on and off my list for a while as far as a wish list. It looks intriguing. Figure maybe I'll get a copy out and give it a shot this weekend. We'll see. Number 17, Bitoku, 1 to 4 players, 120 minutes. Saw this at BGG Con last year. Didn't get to play it. Kind of watched it come and go. Not sure how much I'll like it. I don't really think this is going to be high on my, I really enjoy this game list, but I want to try it once. So it's on my list. Number 18, Hippocrates, 1 to 4 players, 90 to 120 minutes. Kind of like the theme. Think it's going to be pretty much an abstract Euro. But I want to try it. It seems neat. It's kind of flown under the radar a little bit. I feel like it had a little bit of time in the limelight, but never really super high. And it's sort of past its hot time. So I'd like to try it out. I don't know if that's because it just didn't get played as much, or if people played it and they were like, eh. But I'd like to try it out. It looks interesting to me. Weather Machine, 2 to 4 players, 60 to 150 minutes. I sat with Paul Grogan doing a teach of this. It was interesting. The mechanics strike me as somewhat intriguing. I honestly think this will be Vital Lacerda's worst game, but I want to try Weather Machine. I'd like to get a physical play of it and see what I think as compared to other games of his. But to me, the theme is just a little too abstract for me, and I like his other themes that the mechanics seem to be woven in with the theme a little bit better. Weather Machine, it seems a little more disconnected than most of his stuff. So we'll see. Great Western Trail, Argentina is my number. Man, I'm sorry, I gotta count this every time. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 19, 19. 1 to 4 players, 75 to 150 minutes. I like Great Western Trail. It is in my top 15 games. I'd like to try the Argentina version, see how it compares. I think it'd be fun. Number 20 is Edge of Darkness. 1 to 4 players, 120 minutes. Probably a long game, probably going to be a fiddly setup, but I'd like to try this one. This one's kind of been on my, is this a better game than Mystic Vale? I really wanted to like Mystic Vale, and I played it, and it was like, oh, it just felt so empty, and I really wanted the mechanic to work because I like the idea of the card building with the clear plastic things. I enjoy that in Canvas. It's not the same thing, but I like the idea of it. Will Edge of Darkness come through? I wonder. I'd like to see, and if it does, then it is a game I would consider adding to my collection, but I absolutely don't want to spend the money on that game without having a play of it and knowing how much I'll like it. 21. Excuse me. Lisboa. 1 to 4 players, 60 to 120. Famous Vital Lacerda game. I just want to try it out. It strikes me as a very thematic, historical sort of game. This is the kind of game I love. I think I just want to try this one and see if, do I truly want to add this to my collection? Do I want to have this Lacerda game, or is it kind of like, I got On Mars, that's enough. I don't need another equally heavy with nothing new to add to the table sort of Lacerda game. But it strikes me as interesting. And lastly, 22, Dominate Species Marine, 2 to 4 players, 150 minutes. Dinosaur, I like Dinosaur Island, but I really want a good dinosaur game. That's what I want. I want a good dinosaur game. I don't feel like there's one out there yet. There's some interesting ones. I mean, I like some things like Draftosaurus. That's kind of a nice light one. But Dinosaur Island isn't quite the meaty worker placement I want. I want something a little better. It doesn't have to be those mechanics. I just want it to be good. Dominate Species Marine, I don't think is going to fit the bill, but I want to try it because I've heard good things about it. So I'd like to at least see how it plays. Is it too aggressive, or I kind of think that the dinosaur game that I really want to play is not out there yet. It's not been made, but I'd like to see it. If you're thinking, have you tried? Was it Perseverance? Was that one by Mind Clash Games? It's kind of a big. It's got two riding dinosaurs. No, I've watched a couple of playthroughs. It's not going to do it. I don't think that's not the dinosaur game I'm looking for. So I'd like, but I want one. So we'll see. Amid all that, I do know that I've got some games I'm returning to a friend of mine, and he has some games he's borrowed of mine, one of which is Ark Nova. I'm supposed to teach him Ark Nova while we're here, so I am looking forward to doing that, and I actually have been missing Ark Nova, so I'm looking forward to actually playing it, and I've played the game enough now that I don't think it'll take us 120 minutes to play a game, but I'm kind of excited about teaching it, getting it played to the table. So But that is all the known games that I have on my list to play. We'll see how that works out. If I get a chance, I'll do some more videos here, not necessarily in my trailer, but if I can get a quiet room or something, I'll try some. A lot of it's going to come down to time and being able to edit and get it uploaded and all that stuff, which is very hit or miss. And then I am planning to do a video with my brother when he's here. We both put together a top 10 list of our family's top 10 games. We both took polls. I did kind of I listed a whole bunch of games our families played, and I said rank your top 10, 1 to 10, and figured out how what our family top 10 was. So I'll go into more detail about that when we get to that video, but I thought that was fun, including some runner-ups and some other notable games that the kids kind of ended up ruling out, but I think they're still family top 10s, or could be in the near future if we were to do the same exact list again. But there you go. Thanks for joining me. If you watched my in the trailer video, then thank you and have a great evening. Until next time.